I like it.
All right. Well, welcome. We had a lot of conversation before the recording, but people will just have to show up on time next time.
Jay, are you recording?
Yeah, I'm recording, but thank you. I appreciate the reminder because, I need it every time.
Yeah.
Welcome to another virtual happy hour, everyone. Excited to see everyone that has jumped on. John is between travels. I know that. Darren is dancing or something. I don't even know. And I know that at least Jeff is like standing by with his barrel to get ready to blend. So I actually funny story, the first time I actually heard Jen Akin, our guest, speak, who is the general manager, right, of Rumba in Seattle. I think we can say the largest rum collection, at least in the United States, close to the world. I don't know.
We can talk about that.
All right, we'll talk about that. That'll be good. Put that in the ticker for questions. But I actually heard you speak on the Black Tot, was it 2020 call? God,
yeah,
everything.
24-hour like rumathon.
Yes.
Yeah.
And John Gullah and I had a conversation like, wow, we should get Jen on. And we were like, all right, we'll put that on the list. And then John actually had you on the Rumcast, which was, if you guys haven't listened to Jen on the Rumcast, then put that on your list of things to do, because that was a fantastic episode as well. Probably the second best episode that's ever been created of the Rumcast.
Behind the Florida Rum Society, behind the interview with you?
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's what
that's what I've been told. I don't know.
He hasn't interviewed me yet, so.
Well, that's true. There's still time to.
Just getting started.
Yeah. But I had John.
You need to disclose that there's some foreigners on here.
Oh.
There's some foreigners. Me. I'm not in Virginia. I mean, I'm not in Florida. I'm in Virginia.
You're not in Virginia?
I'm in Virginia. Yes, I'm not in Florida.
How much rum have you had tonight, John?
Not enough. Not enough. That's why I brought these out. We're supposed to have these available, right?
You're well underway. So with that, I will introduce Jen Akin, who has been so gracious with her time. It's probably like almost time to open. I don't even know what the schedule is in Seattle, but I know that it's not quite happy hour there. So thank you for jumping on with us. And we want to talk about Rumba. We want to talk about Inside Passage, but I know that there have been a lot of questions of late, and maybe it was sparked by the Reddit, maybe it was sparked by your earlier post on Facebook about your approach to blending rums. And I think there's rumor that you've maybe made a special blend that we can blend along with.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, hi, I'm Jen. It is opening time. We open at 4:00, which is actually why we're in my house, because Rumba opens at 4 and Inside Passage opens at 5. So it is chaotic and busy at the bar right now. And yeah, so that's why we're here in my house. Also, I just moved in like a week ago. I just moved. And so I'm like getting used to doing Zoom in my new apartment. And the lighting, I'm realizing, makes me kind of look like a vampire, which is great because I'm in the Pacific Northwest and it's like rainy and dark and weird and very Twilight-esque. So I guess it's like suitable and appropriate. But yeah, hi, I've been general manager of Rumba for over 4 years. I've been there for more than 5 years. I took over from Kate Perry in 2017. And then we just opened Inside Passage, which if you're unfamiliar with Inside Passage, it's brand new. We're calling it an immersion bar. It doesn't have a lot of like traditional tiki elements to it. It's more like a Pacific Northwest sunken ship underwater immersive experience. It's super fun, but it is definitely tiki inspired for sure. And all of the drinks that we do there are insane, over the top, matching the decor, lots of dry ice, lots of fire, and like lots of drink vessels that I myself handmade quite a few of them, like the Amazon box and things like that. So that's what I do. And I curate our rum collection and educate about rum and talk about rum as much as I possibly can. So that's what I do. And I don't know if you want to go ahead and start with like the custom rum blends, so we can all just start with a daiquiri. I don't know.
Let's do it. Yeah, I mean, besides John, probably all the rest of us still need to jump into a cocktail. So
I
yeah,
do too. I've had 2 cups of coffee and I need to be brought down a little bit. So so yeah, so we do quite a few rum blends at Rumba, and we've always done them. Also, I want to say there's a lot of like names and faces that I'm seeing that I like have seen your names on like Ministry of Rum and stuff, and so it's really fun to actually get to talk to all of you guys.
Jen, are you in the Florida Rum Society group? I don't think you are, so we'll have to fix that.
I don't think so. No.
Right, well,
I am a moderator on Ministry of Rum as well. So I'm super involved there, or as much as I can, working like 60 to 80-hour work weeks and all that jazz. But yeah, it's super exciting to see all of you. But we do a lot of rum blends. The 3 dominant ones are our Cuban style blend, which we also call just Rum Blend or Daiquiri blend. It's what we use to make all of our Cuban inspired cocktails, as well as a lot of our house cocktails, and predominantly daiquiris. We are the Daiquiri factory. I am the Daiquiri queen. Yeah. And then we have our Tiki blend, which is just a blend of like high octane, super punchy rums to cut through all of like the syrups and the juices and stuff for all of our like tiki and tropical drinks. And then we have our Mai Tai blend, which obviously is for Mai Tais. We also use that for like our 3 Dots and a Dash, several tiki cocktails, etc. And we do our own house barrel aged Ray and Nephew in that as well, which I think we'll talk about later.
yeah.
And then I also do a rum blend for our clear and carbonated daiquiri that we have on tap. This is one that not many people know about. So we do a clarified lime juice, a 2-to-1 white simple syrup, and then it is predominantly like a rum agricole style daiquiri, and then we carbonate the whole thing in a keg and we put it on tap, and so it comes out served in a coupe looking like soda water, and then it's just like a straight up punch in the face of like this super funkadelic grassy daiquiri.
There has to be a way to buy a machine that will do that in my house, right? I want daiquiris on tap.
Actually,
Travis?
yeah, you can get
Travis?
yourself a kegerator.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
right? You could totally do that. All right, Travis,
Absolutely.
that's a new.
Or actually get yourself a soda stream, and then you can carbonate anything in smaller quantities.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right.
Make carbonated cocktails in a soda stream.
All right.
It's great.
There's some equipment you can get with that. You keep a CO2 tank on hand and a Coke bottle, and you connect the CO2 tank to the Coke bottle and shake it up, and it works.
Yeah.
I think this could be a new entry for the FRS store.
No, there you go. I don't hate that.
Just
Yeah,
a
You
or-
sell
thought,
kegs of daiquiris.
just a
You know
thought.
those soda bottles, like those soda bottles that you can buy that you just like buy the CO2 and like you just charge them up. You see a lot of bars using them, like old school soda water, like make your own soda water, kind of like a soda stream. You could do that as well. They look kind of like whipped cream canisters, but it's CO2. You could do that too. We've definitely utilized that, or I've utilized that at home. I have a soda stream myself. And then the way that we clarify our lime juice is with agar. So it's actually really easy to do at home as well. I'm more than happy to share how we clarify our lime juice and all that jazz. It's easier than it sounds. It's just labor intensive. Takes a few days if you don't have a centrifuge, which most people don't have one of those just hanging out in their kitchen. I don't know.
This sounds like a live session with Dave Arnold.
It 1000%. Yep. I actually got the original recipe for the clarified lime juice that I altered for the bar from Dave Arnold because he's a genius and he does all of that really, really well. But so for the clear and carbonated daiquiri, I actually do a blend of kind of like a really mellow, chill, almost neutral white rum with overproof Jamaican rum and a couple different styles of rum agricole. It's proofy, it's still delicious, and like very similarly to the daiquiri blend, I kind of created it to have like a middle, a high, and a low, just to kind of embody like everything that I want in a rum blend. So I've like really pared it down to give you guys a very similar experience in a regular daiquiri that you can make at home. So our backbone is the Bounty White. I love this. It has like a really nice body to it, but it's unobtrusive and it gives you like a nice thing to kind of like stretch out and let the other rums kind of play off of it. And it mellows out some of the other flavors. And I also make my blends to appeal to as many people as possible. So while I myself would love like a super funkadelic overproof Jamaican with like 110 proof agricole, like not everybody is into that. And I like to ease people into the things that I love as opposed to just punching them in the face with it and expecting them to like it. Which a lot of my bartenders want to do. They're like, oh, you want to get into rum? Well, here's Paranubes. No, not everybody's going to like that. We don't do that. So to start off, I always build my cocktails. This is also like a little cocktail lesson. I always build my cocktails from the least expensive ingredient to the most expensive ingredient so that if I fuck up, I'm not wasting a bunch of rum. And these are just random bottles from the bar, so don't mind that. So first I have our simple syrup. We actually call it complicated because we like to add flavor everywhere that we can. So we don't do a white sugar simple syrup. We do white sugar demerara, and then we also add cane syrup from Rum Jam to it. So it's in and of itself, you could make a daiquiri with like the clearest, cleanest, most vodka-like rum, and you would still have a little bit of like a grassy rum-like flavor to it because our simple syrup isn't simple, it's complicated. This is when we hire new bartenders and we start training them, they get really confused. They're like, why is it complicated? Because it's not simple. It's not just sugar and water. So I do a ½ ounce of this. And then 3/4 lime juice. Nothing special about our lime juice, it's just lime. And then for the rum blend, like I said, I made this relatively mellow, and if you guys wanted to play around with it, make it more funkadelic, you absolutely can. I did several versions for our bartenders, and they were kind of split down the middle of like who liked what better. But I'm doing a 1/4 ounce of the Rum Bar Overproof. This is one of my favorite. I mean, there's a lot of really amazing overproofs on the market. And I think they all have different qualities that make them perfect for different cocktails. I really like playing with Rum Bar as much as I can because it's Rum Bar and I love them. And Zan is the best.
You're speaking to a very large group of fans of Rum Bar. So
yeah, Zan is, I don't know if any of you guys have met Zan or gotten to talk to Zan, but he is genuinely one of the coolest humans on the face of the planet, and he has a special place in my heart. He comes to Rumba as often as he can. So
special shout out for those that don't remember, Zan will be in Florida on Monday, Tuesday, and now Thursday, we just found out. So he's going to be all over the state next week.
Oh. Tell him I say hi and that I love him.
I'll let him know. I'll see him on Tuesday.
So yeah, we're going to do a 1/4 ounce. You could easily bump that up to a ½ if you wanted. And also a lot of people think I'm weird for doing Jamaican rum and rum agricole. I have said many, many times in like lots of talks and podcasts and everything that Jamaican rum is like salt to me in cocktails. A little bit just improves any and every cocktail that you make. It like adds just like this interesting level of flavor and depth, body, all of it. It just improves everything. So I find that a lot of my cocktails, I end up throwing like a 1/4 ounce of Jamaican rum into just about anything. And if it's not overproof, it's like Smith & Cross. It's something like that. I talk a lot about how Smith & Cross is like probably the one rum I couldn't do without at the bar because it's so instrumental to our program. It's the workhorse, does a lot of work. Okay, and then I have the JM. This is 100 proof. I don't love rums that dip below about, I don't know, 50%. The JM80 is fine. It's really good. We throw the JM80 into our clear and carbonated daiquiri just so that we're not like getting people trashed after one cocktail. But I do 3/4 of an ounce of this guy. And then it's 1 ounce of Bounty. You could easily do, like I said, any other overproof. Obviously, if you're using Ray and Nephew, you could do a little bit more because it's not as funky as like the rum bar. If you were doing rum fire, I might cut it back a little bit because rum fire really is a punch in the face of Jamaican funk. As far as the agricole goes, if you wanted something a little saltier, you could do like the Trois Rivières Cuvée de l'Océan. I really like Clement. Con Bleu is really nice and mellow. It's chill. I mean, it just kind of depends on how much of like that agricole you want. The Nason Blanc would be probably my favorite. It's not being distributed in Washington State right now, so I don't personally have any, but if I had to pick, that would be my favorite. And then as far as like Bounty, the substitutions for Bounty, you could do like Real McCoy 3-year. It's really nice. If you wanted something a little bit cleaner, a little bit drier, Brugal or Don Q would work. Just kind of depends on your style. I have a feeling after kind of like seeing y'all's reactions that you would want to just cut the Bounty out altogether.
I mean, you're not wrong, though. I feel like Bounty's a great, like, it's another one that I don't know, I wouldn't call it a workhorse like Smith and Cross, but it has it fits in a lot of places.
It does.
You could use it.
It does. And honestly, like I personally, and just to answer somebody's question, it's a half ounce of complicated. I personally really like really flavorful rums. I like rums that make me think. I like rums that I just like have to pause at and like really be like, holy shit, this is amazing. Agricole is my favorite style. But that being said, if you made me a daiquiri with Bounty, I would be very, very happy. I would not complain at all. All right, I'm gonna turn around and get some ice.
Do you have an ice shaking preference?
As far as like how I shake or
crushed,
what kind of ice?
Crushed, cubed, whole, little bit of everything.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, I have told many people that there are like 2 ingredients in cocktails that nobody thinks about and they're underappreciated, and that is water and sugar. People don't realize that sugar is absolutely necessary for the balance of a cocktail. It doesn't have to be in simple syrup. It can be in liqueur form, vermouth form, anything like that, but it is crucial because if you don't have that, even martinis, unless you're, in my personal opinion, strange and just like shaken vodka cold, like to me, a martini needs a little bit of vermouth to add a little bit of like that body. I'm gonna shake this so I don't get water.
Yeah.
And then ice. Nobody thinks about ice and water and dilution. Water is like 25 to 30% of your cocktail. So it's really important that you're getting that dilution right. And that the size of your ice and your shaking style, whether you're stirring or shaking, match the cocktail that you're making. So, you know, I instruct my bartenders all the time to shake so that you have like this little layer. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a little layer of like foamy bubbles on top, but you don't want it too watered down. So when you have like a super big cube and you're just shaking on a super big cube, you're getting all the aeration, but you're not getting the dilution. If you have a bunch of small cubes, you're getting too much dilution, not enough aeration. And so like if you have big cubes, it's really nice to throw a big cube in and then crack a couple more. That way you have less surface area, more dilution. And then you're also getting the aeration, which is really important when you have something with citrus in it. And then we do at Rumba, we do shake some of our cocktails on pebble ice. We call it a whip shake. And there, the important thing is just to get the ingredients mixed up. Because it's on crushed ice, you don't want to over dilute it when you serve it to the guests because it's going to sit there as they drink it. And you want a drink that's going to taste good, super boozy, super aggressive up front. And then as it waters down, as you drink it, you just want that drink is supposed to change as you drink it. That's why it's served on crushed ice. So yeah, there's a lot to do with ice, and I am pretty particular about the ice. I don't have a ton of, like, we have a pebble ice machine, and then we just kind of had to get, when we opened Inside Passage, to get the pebble ice machine, we had to get just a nice machine that would fit in the space that we had. So it's not ideal ice, but you just kind of have to change the way you shake and the way you stir and everything like that in order to accommodate the style of ice that you have. I have like very typical here at home, very typical like
Like
ice.
oblong ice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So you probably saw that I shook very aggressively for a short amount of time, and that's because that ice breaks up so easily. I mean, if you could see, I have like chunks of little tiny pieces of ice after that. But yeah, and I haven't unpacked all my glassware, so I don't have any coupes. So I normally wouldn't serve a daiquiri in this, but it is what it
We
is.
don't judge, Jen.
It doesn't matter. This is the evolution of bartending. Is like you start off and you're a snob about everything, like everything. I remember being like, how dare you serve me this drink with incorrect garnish? What is wrong with you? And now I'm like, let's drink champagne out of a rocks glass.
I saw Darren's shocked face. He would never allow that to happen.
I don't have my pearls on at the moment, but taking it back. Taking it back.
Screenshot Jen Akin drinking a daiquiri out of a rocks glass.
All
Reputation
right.
is ruined.
Jen, I followed right along behind you. I'm telling you what, this is a rock star. It's great.
It's really good.
It's super good.
Nobody.
So is this a blend that is currently used, or you just created this for us?
I just created it for you. It's somewhat similar to our clear and carbonated, but I have made it a little bit more user friendly, and I've made it like very specifically to the taste of people who love rum.
Would you pre-batch this like at Rumba? If you were to do it, you would have it already blended together and then pour it a 2 ounce. Or what was the math of it all added up? I missed it.
With an ounce of Bounty, a quarter ounce of Rum Bar Overproof, and 3/4 ounce of the JM 100.
So 2 ounces.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Got it.
I gotta say, I think the blend was amazing. I made a lot of daiquiris, but I've never used overproof, agricole, and then a white blend like this, like that's dynamite. Really nice. Thank you.
Do you have the Bounty White, Travis? I don't have the Bounty White.
No, I use the White Stash Hamilton 87.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
That works fine.
I know you have it, John. You have everything.
I do. I tried it. I'll tell you what, it's rock star. And it's amazing the flavors I'm getting on the backside of this. I really like the finish on it. And you don't get that a lot of times with daiquiri. You don't get a finish. When you're sipping neat, you get finishes, but this has a finish to it. I really like it. Well balanced.
Thanks.
Bravo.
I agree, because you got a little of the sort of the muscularity of the overproof, right?
Yep.
You got the saltiness of the agricole, but then it's all just really pulled together in a very approachable way with that white blend.
So when Jay sent out the things that, hey, this is the rums that we're going to be working with, I'm like, really? And I set them here in my bar beforehand. I said, how's that going to work? Well, guess what? Jen, you did it. I mean, I love the olive brininess about this. Like you saying, the saltiness, the olives come on that I love. So this is good.
Yeah, I love, and it's not something that I would like years ago when I created that clear and carbonated daiquiri. Originally, it was my first assignment when I became Kate Perry's bar manager. It was my first assignment because I have a molecular biology and a chemistry degree, and I was really into like nerdy chemistry cocktail shit. And she was like, hey, you're into nerdy stuff. I really want to do a clear daiquiri that's carbonated and on tap. And I was like, cool, let me see what I can do. And it originally was just agricole. It was a blend of JM and Damoiseau. And it was good. It was really good. And then I was like, you know what? There's too many people that are shying away from this. And I just wanted it to be different. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I was just like, let's play around with it. I'm constantly like, what can I change? What can I make better? So I played around with it, and we've had 3 iterations of this cocktail. And now we're finally on this one. And adding, I just was like, let's just throw in a little bit of overproof rum. Because like I said, to me, it's like I'm like Salt Bae, but with Jamaican rum. I just like to sprinkle a little bit into virtually everything that I do. And this is what happened.
It's like garlic. Just throw a little bit in everything and it's fantastic.
Yeah, and when you're cooking for your friends, you put double the amount of garlic.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, when I cook for myself or for my friends, because I know my friends, I know the recipe calls for 1 clove of garlic, and I'm like,
One's never enough.
no, we're going to put 3 cloves of garlic into that. But like I said, you know, I host a party every single night of the week with people I've never met. And so I have to put out drinks that I think that at least 75% of guests will love, because not everybody's going to love every single cocktail that we put out. We do have some like weird, aggressive, interesting, because everything that we do, unlike a lot of bars, everything we do has rum in it. There's not a single cocktail on the Rumba menu that does not have rum in it. We have some rum and gin cocktails, some rum and cognac cocktails, rum and whiskey. I mean, we've paired rum with every other spirit. You know, one of our most famous cocktails is rum. It's rum fire and mezcal. It's called the Red Wedding. That one is a top seller. It's rum, mezcal, Aperol, spiced hibiscus tea, or like a Jamaica, lime, and passion fruit. Matt Petrick put it in his minimalist tiki book. I actually just found out via one of my regulars that it's on a menu in DC. With credit, they credited the bar, which is really, really cool. And then there's a bar in St. Louis that has a drink on their menu, and the presentation is exactly the same. It's in the same glass, which is like these like really tall Pilsner glasses that are kind of hard to find. And then it has the pineapple frond and the flower with the cherry and everything. And I was like, they must follow us on Instagram. But yeah, so that one, and that one's hard too, because it comes out bright red and people see it. And I refer to it as the fajita effect. People see these cocktails walk like to another table and they're like, ooh, I want that. It's so pretty. And, you know, we have to explain to them, it's like, okay, it's really pretty and it has a flower on it, but it's not like, it's not like fruity and sweet and all of those things. It's like really smoky and funkadelic, and it's got overproof Jamaican rum in it. And do you like overproof Jamaican rum? Because if you don't, this is not the cocktail for you. So everything kind of has to come with a disclaimer, especially drinks like that, for people that, because we get a ton of people that come in and they actually don't even know that Rumba is a rum bar. They just walk in because it's a pretty bar. So.
Right, that was gonna be my next question. Is obviously you have regulars, and obviously you have the rum/tiki community that is well aware what you are doing up there. But like, what would you say are the amount of people that come in nightly, weekly, that are like, I can't wait for a strawberry daiquiri?
You know, I would say pre-pandemic and pre-Inside Passage, it was like 60% regulars and 40% like tourists and random people off the street. But since we opened Inside Passage, and with all of the press that Inside Passage is getting, it's probably like flipped. So we get a lot of people that come in and they've just seen us on TikTok. They've seen us on Instagram. They've seen us written up in whatever. And they have no clue. They have no clue. And even in the before times, you know, like you walk into Rumba and everyone's seen the photo of like, you have this insane back bar of all this booze. And then you have those beautiful blue chairs. Everything is like dark wood and like that kind of teal Tiffany blue, and just bottles like all the way to the ceiling. And people walk in because they walk by and they're like, oh, wow. I mean, I see it all the time. People are like kind of walking and they're like, okay, all right, we're going to stop in here for a minute, because we're right in this really interesting part of town. We're technically in Capitol Hill, which is like really central to everything in the city, but then we're right on the cusp of downtown, which is where, you know, the Washington State Convention Center is, Paramount Theater. It's where all of like the tourist stuff is. There's a cheesecake factory right down the street, you know? And so we get a lot of tourists walking up the hill, and they see us and they come in. And I like, one of my favorite things to tell people about is this conversation where a guest comes in, they're looking at the wall and I'm like, hey man, how's it going? What can I get for you? And they're like, wow, what a cool bar. And I'm like, thank you so much. Do you know what you'd like? And they're like, yeah. Can I get a Tito's and soda? Sorry, man. Yeah, no, we don't have Tito's. We have these vodkas. Oh, okay. You don't have Tito's. Cool. can I get a Jack and Coke?
Jack and Coke. I got it.
Oh, sorry. And they're like, what? And you can like see the wheels turning. They're like, how do they have this many bottles and not like 2 of the top selling liquors in the country? And I go, yeah, we're a rum bar. And they go, oh, rad. Let me get a Captain Morgan Spice rum and Coke. And I'm like, yeah, man, sorry, we don't have that either. Let me tell you what we do have. We have this amazing spice rum from Chairman's Reserve. We have the Foursquare spice. Like, let me talk you through this. And usually they're happy, like they start to get it. But that is like so many of the conversations that we have. It just happened last night. I was at the bar, just happened last night. The guy was like, Tito's and soda. Nope.
I want to be there for one of those conversations. That's my.
All you have to do is come and sit at the bar, and it will happen. It will happen.
I'm glad. Good for you.
Yeah.
I sit at the bar, and these people come in at Sabai, where my go-to bar here in town, and they come in. Can we have a Miller Lite? I'm like, no.
Like it happens too.
A Miller Lite, really? Sorry, Travis.
No problem. So you know, this reminds me that years ago, long time ago, I was in Philadelphia, and I went to, you know, the 2 famous cheesesteaks places in Philadelphia, Geno's and Pat's, right? But there's another one that's downtown called Jim's Steaks that I had heard is a rivals Geno's and Pat's, and I had gone to Jim's Steaks, and we went there one night. We waited through this long line. It was like waiting for Space Mountain to get there, and at Disney World to get the cheesesteak, and we got it. And I said, you know, it was okay, but it was a little bit bland. Next time I come here, I'd like to ask him to tweak it up a little bit. And so we actually ended up going back the very next day, and so we waited through the line again, and I got all the way up to the front of the line. And I said, hey, I'd like a steak with whiz, onions, and could you put a little salt and pepper on the meat for me? And the guy says, we don't do that. Next. That was it. I was out. Like, no cheesesteak.
Like, no soup for you.
No, exactly. But I just have such respect for a place that says, no, we don't have Tito's. Crown and ginger, we don't do that. Miller Lite, sorry, ain't got that.
I mean, when you're surrounded by, we are in a part of town where there's more bars, like in the 2 square miles that is our neighborhood. There's more bars than anywhere else in the city. You walk like, I don't know, half a block and there's 4 more bars. And it's like, you can go and get all of those things at those bars. We specialize in something. And honestly, like, it's really weird working I've been in hospitality since I was 18 years old. I've worked in coffee shops. I was a host and server, as well as flat top grill cook at Applebee's for a time. I've bartended for a long time. I've waited tables. I've been a bar back. I've done all of it. I also worked in hospitals for like 4 years while I was in college. I've done hospitality in every.
You're like 56 years old. How old are you, Jen?
37. I'm turning 38 in like 2 months. Yeah, I trained horses too for a really long time. Anyway, that's a whole different story. I've had a weird life. But I've worked hospitality, and you are taught that you never say no. The guest is always right. You never say no to anyone. And so coming to Rumba, we try to say yes as often as we can. But there are some things that it's like, I'm not going to keep olives at this bar for the one time a month somebody orders a dirty martini. It just doesn't make sense. We don't even make back the money on that jar of olives because it goes bad before we can sell it, you know? Like, it's silly. Cranberry juice, prime example. I'm not going to buy this much cranberry juice for the 1 Cosmo a month that somebody orders. And so, like, teaching bartenders how to say no politely to a guest when all you've known is like, yeah, of course, we'll make whatever you want. Like, it's always been strange to me that you can walk into a restaurant, look at a food menu, order off the food menu, but then look at your bartender and be like, hey, there's this classic cocktail from like 1893 that I found in this book. Can you make it for me? Baffling.
I love that.
Like, why are these standards so different? It's wild to me. I mean, at Rumba, we have always had a very extensive cocktail menu with lots of options, and we still get people that come in and they're like, bartender's choice, make me this, which I also get too if you've drank through our entire cocktail menu, but wouldn't you like something that we've worked on for 3 months versus something that I'm going to work on for 30 seconds?
Yeah.
No.
So
There's a
I think-
bar. Oh, sorry.
No, you go, Kim.
There's a bar. My favorite bar in the world is a bar in New York called Amore Amargo.
Oh, yeah.
And
Southern Tea is one of my best friends.
I love him, and I've like taken a class from him, and I go to his bar whenever I can. And it's so fascinating because like they have no juice, no citrus other than like, you know, the little coin. It's just Amaro. I think they actually just started having seltzer or something, but that was, I think, new. It was like, it's literally just, it's just what you can make a Manhattan and a Negroni and an old fashioned with. And I've never seen anyone be anything but so happy in that bar. And I think what's interesting is like, it sounds like there's, and that's a teeny, teeny, tiny bar.
Yeah.
They have a teeny, teeny, tiny menu.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's easier. I feel like you're straddling that line where like you have a focus, but it's because you're making these cocktails, you have all these other things. Where it's almost easier to be like, hey, we have one thing, and you can get on board with the one thing, and let's talk about how to get you there. But you're like, well, we have 10 things. We don't have, 12. You don't have 12 things. But I think it's so cool to walk into a place and just see what they're about. And I find it so frustrating when people aren't open to that. But
I mean, I tell people all the time, I feel like I have kind of mastered the art of, I don't know, not correcting people, but just kind of encouraging them to move in the direction that will be best for them without being an asshole. Because sometimes people, they're like, I don't drink rum. I only drink vodka. Can I have a Mai Tai? I've had Mai Tais ordered with vodka before. And I am just like, okay, I will make this for you. I will make this for you. However, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to taste good. It's not going to taste good. Can I make you something else? Can I encourage you to maybe try this drink, or maybe like try this other drink that's really, really great, like geared towards vodka drinkers? Like, you are walking into a world-renowned rum bar. We have been around for almost 10 years. We're getting ready to celebrate in a year our 10-year anniversary. We have made it as a very niche bar with a spirit that no one understands. No one understands it. And we have only grown since we opened. So we're doing something right. So I would highly encourage you to go with what we know how to do really fucking well. We do this so well. Do we do vodka cocktails well? Sure, we do them okay. We do them fine. We will make you a fine vodka cocktail with the 2 vodkas that we carry. However, you are not getting the full rumba experience by opting out of what we specialize in. So I'm going to give you my 100% satisfaction guaranteed that this passion fruit daiquiri is going to be everything that you've ever wanted in your life. Or this frozen pina colada that is fucking mind-blowing. You're going to love it. I'm going to give you my guarantee. And if you don't love it, then I will take it off your bill and I will pay for your vodka cocktail. And the amount of times I've had to pay for somebody's vodka cocktails is 0 times. 0 times. I've never had to pay for somebody's vodka cocktail ever. We have a daiquiri on the menu called the Daiquiri de Plata. It has Brugal Añejo in it. Literally the least offensive rum on the face of the planet, with passion fruit liqueur, lime, and a little bit of yellow chartreuse. I've never had anyone not love that cocktail. And so many times I've sent out like shots of it to people that are like, they order the Red Wedding because they don't know what rum fire is and they don't like it. And I'm like, here, try this. And they're like, yes, we'll take 25 of those. Thank you so much. And it's just, it's just kind of like, that's kind of the basis of my entire menu is I have certain cocktails that I know every single person is going to love. And I know that table there, they're going to order these 5 cocktails, and that's fine. And then I have the cocktails on the menu that are for like when you guys come in and want something a little bit more adventurous. And I think everybody has to do that as far as cocktail bars go, if you're like interested in weird, cool spirits and stuff like that. But as far as like a rum bar goes, you have to do it even more to the extreme, because like I said, no one understands rum. No one. We are a very small percentage of rum drinkers. And I mean, if you look at like the top selling rums in the United States.
Don't look at that list.
Hey, Jennifer, I'd be curious to know what Kevin Crossman's take would be on the vodka Mai Tai, since he's here tonight.
Well, I don't drink vodka Mai Tais for the reasons that Jen has already described. Since you've interrupted Jen's flow here, I'll ask the question I was going to ask is, has the Mai Tai Rum Blend changed since 2019?
No.
Okay, well, so on my ultimatemaitai.com, your Rumba Mai Tai is number 2 to Jeff Beachbum-Berry's Latitude 29.
You know what? I will take that.
Yeah, and you're ahead of Smuggler's Cove, which I'm sure is another little plus for you.
I'm into it. You know, next time I get to see Martin and Jeff, we can arm wrestle over it.
Anyway, it was a really great experience. I'm looking forward to getting up there someday soon.
Well, thank you. Yeah, our Mai Tai blend, that's been another like adventure, because I do like massive deep dives into like the history of these cocktails. Like the Daiquiri blend, I did a huge deep dive into like the history of Cuban rum, and you know, Matt Petrick has been a really, really good resource because that man is like an encyclopedia of historical booze knowledge. It's insane.
Mhm.
And then also Kate. Kate is such a wonderful person to have behind me, backing me. You know, I should tell you guys my journey into Rumba. By the way, you know, I moved to Seattle in 2012, which is the year that Rumba opened. And when I moved to Seattle, I hated rum. I despised it. And I had just recently gotten on like the tequila train. Up until I was about 26, 28 years old, I only drank vodka. It's a really fun experience to have because it's nice to tell people this story when they're like, I don't like rum. And I'm like, trust me, I've been there. Trust me. And I remember one of my good friends, he was like, okay, you're new to Seattle bartending. You're a badass female bartender. You hate rum. You got to go see Kate Perry at Rumba. She's going to change your life. And she did. I remember it was a Sunday night. I went and sat at her bar and I was like, hey, my name's Jen. So-and-so told me I needed to come see you. I don't like rum. Help me. And she was like, I got you. And I remember the 3 rums she put in front of me. I started a rum map. She's like, let's start you easy. Let's start in Panama. Panama's like a real easy. You like whiskey? We'll go there. And I remember it was a Maison Panama from 2004, I believe. A plantation Panama, which I always call plantation like the gateway into rum. It was like a nice ease my way into rum. And then she poured me a Zafra 21. And I remember just thinking like, what the fuck is this? This is not the rum that I'm used to drinking. This isn't Captain Morgan spice rum that made me throw up 3 years ago when I tried to impress a boy by drinking it. It's not the same. And I was hooked. And also I just like really admired her. And I kind of like obsessively stalked her into being my friend. She can tell you more about that. I was like constantly like, hey, when can we hang out? When can we hang out? She finally was like, fine. God, let's go to a bar. Let's go drink. It's fine. And I tried to get a job there for years. And I moved away in 2015. I moved to Southern Oregon to help a friend open like a little hotel bar. And a year later, she called me and she's like, so you still want to come work at Rumba? And I was like, hell yeah. What do you got for me? You want me to serve? You want me to like bar back? What do you want me to do? She's like, you want to be GM? I was like, oh, I've never really managed a bar in my life. She's like, it's fine. You love rum. She's like, I don't know of anybody that loves Rumba as much as you do. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. And here I am. But yeah, like getting people to love rum is such a fun adventure. And the Mai Tai adventure and like doing deep dives into these cocktails and like, you know, how historically the rum used to be and how historically these drinks probably used to taste is like the most passionate thing I'm passionate about. So yeah, that's kind of how the Mai Tai blend took form, was just doing a bunch of research, as much research as I possibly could about the Mai Tai and kind of how we were doing things. We've always had like the barrel aging program at Rumba. And then it just kind of morphed into what it is now. And it's very tasty. It's not for everyone, but it's very tasty.
Do you share what that is, or is it
Yeah, it's complicated because we use our tiki blend in it. So with the tiki blend, which already is comprised of like 5 different rums, and then the barrel aged Ray and Nephew, and then we use JM Gold, and I want to say JM 110. Without having it in front of me, I think it's those 4 items. But then the tiki blend, like I said, is 5 rums, so it ends up being about 9 different rums. Yes. So a lot of times I like pare it down for people. But then, you know, not everybody has a barrel that they can age Ray and Nephew in just hanging out at home. I often suggest like the Denizen Merchant's Reserve is a really good option for Mai Tais. I guess the Worthy Park 109 is, but I haven't tried it yet.
Oh, it is.
We're gonna fix that.
Yeah.
That makes one hell of a Mai Tai. Holy.
Yeah, I need to get a bottle. And that's like one of the most like daiquiris. I have multiple rums that I can suggest, like 1 rum daiquiris that work. You know, Probitas is a really good one. The Bounty is a really good one, just kind of depending on what style of daiquiri you want. But man, a Mai Tai, that one's really hard to like just suggest 1 rum because you need like those different elements happening. You know?
I'm gonna throw this one out there for you, Jen. Try the Kohana Kia. I'm telling you right now, I make a amazing rum with the 41-year-old. Oh, she's got it. I see it.
We talked about this before you got started, actually.
Oh my God, that's like I can make them. I will put my Mai Tai recipe up against anybody.
You're putting, John, this one, you're putting this in the Mai Tai?
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
That
Exclusively?
No, along with the 21-year-old Appleton. Hello.
That's like a $60 Mai Tai.
Yeah. No, it's actually entitled in my book, the $45 Mai Tai.
In Washington State, that would be a $90 Mai Tai. We have the highest liquor tax in the entire country. It's stupid. I hate it.
Oh my gosh.
I was actually just saying before all of you guys got on this call, the Kohana Kia makes my absolute #1 most favorite daiquiri of all time. Yeah,
I love their rums. I really do. You know,
which cane? Which cane? Do you have?
Well, I like the Kia. The Kia is
the Kia. Got it.
Yep.
But if I had to pick a specific cane, the Lahi is my favorite, like that super like bright spring onion kind of flavor and smell. Whew, that one, I love it. I love it.
Do you do your daiquiri just with that, or do you split it?
Just with that.
Get on it, Kim.
Yeah.
And Jay, you just went there, right? You just went to Kohana, right?
I went there right before. Oh, sorry, not Jen.
You go ahead. Well, you can answer too. I went in June, but I think Jen went there recently too.
Well, it wasn't that recently. It was right before the shutdown, so it was like March of 2020.
The going back to the barrel aging, do you have like rules around how long you age the Ray in the barrel? Like what's that process look like, or is it like Wild West?
It's a little Wild West because that Rumba is a little Wild West. But we try and make sure like, they're brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 2 barrels, and we got them both relatively recently, and they're both obviously like virgin, uncharred. They're just barrels. And I try and make sure that the rum sit in there at least 3 months. We actually are getting so busy with the opening of Inside Passage that I need another barrel because they're kind of like on the cusp of not being in there long enough. We have a method where we pull from one and fill the other so that we make sure one is always resting, always aging, and then we're pulling from the other one to make our Mai Tai blends. Sorry, I'm very distracted. My puppies are being naughty. So yeah, anyway, that's what we do. other than that, like, it's just basically like we just fill them when they're empty. And I just try and like taste it every once in a while, make sure that like the flavor is there, and that everything is aging appropriately. And then when I need a new barrel, I just contact my Campari rep and I'm like, hey, can I get another barrel, please? And actually, I just retired one of our old barrels because it just became neutral. We used it for so long, it wasn't doing anything anymore. So.
Got it. John, I see your hand, but I want to real quick before we get to the hour mark, and then we'll have some more time. But I wanted to revisit one of the things we said right in the beginning, which was, you said we circle back to it. Rumba has maybe the largest rum collection in the world, maybe not.
Okay, well, I feel like I've gotten to the point in my career where I feel like I can confidently say this, and Martin can contact me if he has issues with this, but he is the only one that supposedly has more rum than us, and I believe that he does. But as far as like an on display available to the guest at that moment when they order, I think that we have the largest collection. It's over 700 bottles, all on display, all available, a la minute when somebody orders. I also think that we have like the world's largest collection, like public collection of rum agricole, because like a third of our rums are agricole or agricole style rums. So yeah, and I think that tells you what my favorite style is, perhaps. But yeah, that's what I tell people, because people always ask, and it's really hard for me to know for sure, because it's hard to like get exact counts from other bars. But yeah, we're well over 700 bottles. When I started 5 years ago, we had about 500 bottles. So, and I always love to tell people that my boss, the owner of the bar, when I became GM, he was like, all right, our inventory needs to decrease. And I said, okay. And so I increased it. And I was like, the people demand it. They need new, different rums. I have tons of regulars that come in and they're like, what's new? What's interesting?
There you go. I like it. That's amazing. One day. That's the dream, one day.
I mean,
John.
It's nice as GM because it's not my money. It's
Kevin says that Smuggler's Cove says they have 1,000 on premise now.
Okay.
Oh man, you got to up your game, I guess, Jen. We'll see.
Well, we'll see.
But to Jen's point, for sure, not like grab the bottle right away type
Right,
of thing,
you
definitely
order,
not as nicely displayed.
You order a deep cut at Smuggler's, and they'll find it eventually, but it'll take a while.
I have heard that a lot of the rums are like in his office and like in various places that are not like all of our rums that we have. You can see every single one of them.
You didn't mention it, but I ordered some deep cuts, as Jay said, at 3 Dots and a Dash this summer, multiple, and they never arrived. They were printed in the menu, but they never appeared in the glass. So
that's funny. John, thank you for being patient. What's up, bud?
No, I really have a question for Jen. So my deal is I love my rums. I have over 1,300 bottles in my personal collection of independent rums or individual, expressions. But my question is, my passion is cocktails, as there are many of us on here. So a couple of the key ingredients that I use in cocktails to spike up things, and you mentioned some, like spiking things. And I'm thinking I use citric acid. I also use things like ancho rays. And I just kind of want to get your feed on, hey, what are your go-to spike ups? What are those secret little things you throw, a 1/4 ounce, 1/8 of ounce? Those little things that bring up the heat and the beauty in a cocktail.
We definitely use citric acid. Yellow and green chartreuse are like easy, like throw those into anything and they make anything delicious. Falernum is like a really good option. Our best-selling cocktail is our old fashioned, which is like a blend of rums and then our house falernum and banana liqueur. Banana liqueur gets overlooked because a lot of people don't like that artificial kind of like Laffy Taffy banana flavor. I love it in small amounts. I think it's amazing. And like I said, our old fashioned is our hands down our top selling cocktail, even for people that don't like banana flavor. It's just a small amount. And then when paired with our falernum, it's like actually perfection. Yes, it's Giffard. Although the Tempest Fugit is really good too, if you like more of like an actual kind of like caramelized banana flavor.
Yeah, it's more bananas Foster, and what melts melts of the bananas Foster is what the Tempest
exactly.
is.
And then, you know, like I said, like just plain, well, our mojito is also made with, this is like one of our big secrets. Our mojito is made with a syrup that we make with clove and fresh mint. So we do a clove syrup and then we let it cool and we throw fresh mint in there. And it is delicious. You don't necessarily taste the clove, but the clove kind of brings out everything else about the mojito. It is stupidly delicious.
Wait, hang on a second. That clove syrup, that's interesting. Do you use that in anything else?
Yeah.
Not right now. We used to use it in a drink called the Tik Tok, which was a riff on a Red Hook. Which, so years ago, a regular came to me and he was like, have you ever heard of a meat hook? And I was like, what is that? And they're like, it's a red hook made with rum. And so I riffed on it. So it had Punta Mez and rum. And then I added clove mint. And then of course I added a little bit of Jamaican rum to it. And it was delicious. And I changed the name to Tik Tok after Captain Hook. It's a long story. All of my drink names are like really, really, really like deep dive into some weird shit. But yeah, so I've used it in that. We used it in our Queen's Park Swizzle, which was really, really good.
Is that is your clove syrup like a complicated syrup?
It is not. It is just white sugar.
Okay. So simple, like a 2-to-1 simple with clove?
Yeah, 2-to-1 white sugar. Basically, yeah, we take 2-to-1 simple syrup and we add clove. We toast the clove first. So anytime you use like any sort of baking spices like that, we always like to toast them because it brings out all those oils. And then, like I said, we pull it off of the heat with the clove in it. And then once it's cooled off for about half an hour, we throw the mint leaves in because mint leaves can turn brown, and when they are not fresh, it doesn't have like super fresh mint flavor. It tastes cooked and weird, and I don't like it. So I wait till it's relatively cool, throw the mint in, and just let it sit for a while, and then strain it all out.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then
Have you ever tried that with allspice by chance?
We haven't tried that syrup in particular with allspice, but we do use allspice a ton. We use it in our falernum. It goes into our spiced hibiscus tea for the red wedding. We use allspice in our hot buttered rum recipe. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing. That's cool. It's good to know. I'm gonna make that.
Also, I am very, very, very willing to share any of our recipes if anybody wants them.
All of them, just
all of them. Nothing is proprietary to me.
Oh, wow.
I want to jump to Jeff because he has his hand raised. But real quick, there was a follow-up about the old fashioned. What were the ingredients of your rum old fashioned?
So
that's my question too.
Yeah, it's a 1/4 ounce of our house-made falernum, and I know that there are a lot of like falernum fanatics that say that the only real falernum is the John D. Taylor's. That's fine. Our house-made falernum is I love it. It's amazing. It's delicious. And we make it in-house with OFTD. We just infuse OFTD overnight, and then we add like a 4-to-1 simple syrup to it. And we use toasted allspice, nutmeg, and cinnamon, as well as fresh lime zest and ginger. And then we add a little bit of, and then obviously toasted almonds as well. And then we add a little bit of almond extract. And like I said, sugar. We make our own falernum. It's amazing. And then the Giffard Benin de Brazil. And then we do our, it's equal parts our our Tiki blend and our Rum Blend, our Daiquiri blend, and then Angostura bitters. And we serve our old fashions with a lemon zest and not an orange zest. The brightness is really nice. And we also serve it with a little bit of mint because it's tropical. And mint and rum go hand in hand.
That is probably my all-time favorite old fashioned.
Really?
Yes.
It's really good. I love it.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to expand and open a version in Florida?
Yeah.
Because we can get all the rums that you are, like the ones that you were saying we can't get that here. We can get them.
And
So-
Orlando is lovely this time of year, really nice.
Right. It's
Fabulous.
beautiful. It was 81 today.
You know, I really hate you guys. I'm sorry. I'm here in Virginia. I went to the ABC store today, and because of just they're giving this excuse that they're shipping, blah blah blah. You want to see this? It looks like a snow day when they announce that snow's coming and the grocery store is picked over. You should see the ABC store here. Horrible.
Well,
I
it's
will
like
be there.
63 in Texas and we're all eating chili.
I will be there in 2 weeks. Trust me, you all need to gird your loins because when I hit Miami, I'm going to clean house.
What's a snow day?
Oh, okay. I hate you.
It's like a
Like a
hurricane
beach
day.
day?
But it's like a hurricane day, but a lot more miserable.
It's like a beach day.
Ugh. It's called the grocery store marketing day where they clean the freaking store shelves. It's ridiculous.
The grocery store marketing day.
Ugh.
The one day a year they sell out of spam.
Ugh. I'm moving to Florida. I'm coming.
Come on
I'm
down,
moving.
John. Come on down. You can
I'm
store all your
coming.
rum at my place until you
I'm
get your
coming,
house
dude.
built.
I'm coming. I'm done.
Awesome. Well, I want to be respectful of Jen's time. Any other, I know we could probably like go through the whole menu and be like, hey, tell me about this one. Tell me about this one. But any,
Talk for like literally for days. about
yeah,
rum.
that's fine. We got time. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Jim, thank you so much for opening my eyes to the combination of these three rums for a daiquiri. This is amazing.
Hey, next time you need your mind blown, just let me know and I'll come up with something else, okay?
All right, you're on.
Or we're going to
That
open
sounded like a come on.
Rumba
That sounded like a
Orlando.
come on.
Rumba
I'll
Orlando.
talk to my boss. I'll talk to my boss and see what he says.
Rum Barlando.
Rumbalando?
Rumbalando.
There's something in there. Jeff, did you have something else real quick? I saw that you lit up for a second.
She covered it with the discussion about the old fashioned blend. I really
Perfect.
appreciate that.
Awesome. Well, I mean, I'll be honest, Jen, I'm gonna shoot you a note to ask you a few follow-ups, but I appreciate you you bearing with us, and I'm excited about the blend. I think I'm gonna bottle it up and just use it kind of.
Bottle it up.
Yeah.
If we wanted to, so you clarify the lime juice, but you could do it, you wouldn't last as long, but you could do it regular daiquiri and throw it in the make it fizzy
Absolutely.
machine.
Well, here's the thing. If you clarify something with lime juice that is, or if you carbonate something with lime juice that isn't clarified, the carbonation won't take as well.
Ah,
The proteins and all that heavy proteins in
Right.
there will prevent it from being truly carbonated. So the clarification helps with.
all right.
the
Travis will let me borrow his centrifuge.
Oh, of course, Travis has a centrifuge.
No, but I do have the telephone agar, so you can
Yeah.
use some of that.
Agar, just buy it on Amazon. It's really easy. I mean, you can just hit up Dave. Like it's online. If you just look up lime clarification, Dave Arnold, you can get like a general basic recipe of how to do it. It just, like I said, it's just time consuming. You got to freeze it and then thaw it. So it takes a couple days.
It's a pain. It is a pain, but she's right. The when you carbonate something with unclarified lime juice, the carbonation won't hold. It leaves really quickly.
All right.
Also, buy yourself some citric and malic acid because when you clarify with agar, you have to add water, and also losing those proteins in the couple of days it takes, you do lose a little bit of acid. So we acid adjust slightly with like 2 parts citric acid, 1 part malic acid. And I can, like I said, I can send you our recipe if you want. But obviously ours is to make like 3 liters
quantities, yeah.
Right, gallons.
Yeah.
headline. But yeah, and
Like a Friday's worth. Yeah.
you can just play around and like throw in like just 1/8 of a teaspoon of each until
Well,
you,
and you know, in small quantities like we make at home, unlike what they're doing at Rumba, you can just carbonate the entire thing and leave the lime juice out, and then add the lime juice at the time of serving.
there you
to
go.
kind
That's
of-
a great idea.
Sounds like a good weekend project for me.
Yeah, I'll bring you my rig over, and you can experiment with it.
I have one of those little machines.
Oh, the Soda Stream.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm 90% of the way there. Sounds like. Except for all the
Nearly
work.
there. You can do it in ISI whip too. You mentioned that before, right? Like the thing you make whipped cream out of, you can do it in there.
Yep.
But and Dave Arnold goes over the whole thing in his book. It's a great book called Liquid Intelligence. You can get a CO2 tank that you use like to power a kegerator, basically to charge a kegerator. And you know, some gauges and a connection that you connect to the whole thing to a 2-liter soda bottle. And you can carbonate anything at will, and you can do slightly larger quantities than you can in the Soda Stream, I think. And probably really ultimately for cheaper, because you don't have to use those small little canisters. You can use the larger quantities of CO2, and it really works, man. It really works. But
We also used to do we had a Rumba Libre on the menu that was on tap, which was our house rum and coke, and we made our own cola syrup, and we added a
That's
Vega
cool.
to it, and citric acid, malic acid instead of lime juice. And we served it in like these little bottles, and we had these custom labels that looked like cigar labels that said Rumba Libre, and we served them in cigar boxes with a little keychain bottle opener on the side. Very cute.
I have to say, if you guys haven't gone on the Inside Passage website and seen the tiki, do we call them tiki mugs, drink mugs, cocktail mugs that
The
Jen
vessels.
designed,
Yeah.
the drink vessels, they are like that. I mean, the Amazombi is phenomenal. They all are great, but it like looks like a real Amazon box. Like it's insane.
Yeah, a lot of that was we had a vision and there wasn't anybody out there making the vessels that we needed, so I just had to make it myself. So I did.
Although shocking, you have not received a cease and desist on that one.
People keep saying that. I did. So I have received one cease and desist when I made the Capri rum. I don't know if any of you
Oh, yeah.
on Instagram,
I saw that.
but we did the Capri rum in like the little drink pouches, and I had the whole sticker label made, and it looked exactly like Capri Sun. Only it was Capri rum with all the ingredients and everything. And it took them well over a year to send me a cease and desist on that one. I have it still. I'm going to frame it and hang it in my house because I am so proud. They sent me the whole letter with like the pictures from my well, not from my Instagram, but from the bar's Instagram of like me and my coworker Sean drinking these Capri rums with our sunglasses on. And I feel like I've truly made it because Heinz sent me a cease and desist. So
That is for sure. That's funny.
yeah.
I mean, you know you've made it when lawyers get involved.
Truly, like I'm a big enough deal that they've paid somebody to tell me to stop doing something.
you know, I got to tell you, that fund only goes so far. That does have an expiration date.
I'm sure. Well, we are waiting. We are anxiously waiting. It's interesting because I have so many Amazon employees that come in, and that's the first drink that they always order. And I haven't heard anything yet. I mean, knock on wood. But we're getting to about the time that we're going to change the menu over anyway. So it is what it is.
Oh, you can't get rid of the Amazon till I get up there.
We'll make it for you.
Well, you better get up here soon.
Oh, damn. All right.
Everybody's heading right for Seattle.
In winter.
Oh, it's so beautiful this time of year.
But you go ski. Go fly into Seattle and drive with the Whistler. Stop at Rumba.
There you go. Exactly. I mean, there's
Perfect.
so many good rum bars, like right here between Portland and here. Like, there's so many great places to stop and try delicious rum and rum cocktails. So
It's on the list.
yeah, and then you can go skiing. Right now we are under like some sort of wind advisory. I don't know. But yes, the weather is beautiful this time of year.
It sounds like it. Awesome. Well, thank you, Jen, so much for spending time with us. I know that you lead a very busy life, especially in the evening time. So we appreciate it. And you're moving. You took time out of your move to humor us for an hour and 20 minutes. So thank you so much for spending time. And yeah, everyone get up to Rum Bar and Inside Passage. And I hear that Inside Passage fills up fast. So, you know, get on the list or whatever. So
Maybe one day she could do a pop-up in Florida. Hello.
I love that plan. Oh, and
This is
then
my idea.
there's taco and swizzle.
This is Swizzle. This is Taco.
Let's talk to boat drinks. Let's come on down to Florida.
Yeah,
You know, maybe
yeah,
maybe the wrong.
get a brand. Let's get a brand involved, and they can buy my plane ticket, and I'm there.
All right. I got someone I can talk to tomorrow or Tuesday
I
night.
would love to do like a Rumba Inside Passage pop up.
Wouldn't that be
Get the rum
fantastic?
Congress. How about the
That
rum
would be-
Congress?
Oh, Rum Congress.
Hey, hello.
All right. We're on it.
All right.
Think of it as the opposite of cease and desist.
There
Hey,
you
rock
go.
on and continue.
Awesome. Thank you, Jen, again.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. Have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
Thanks, Jim.